Hey everyone, welcome to Real Knowledge Club TV. Akshay Rashikrin here, and today we have another great guest. His name is Bhuvanesh. He's all the way from Kerala, and his story is super amazing. Being an digital marketer, freelancer, entrepreneur, and today he is an VP, Vice President of one of the top leading technology companies in India. Not just that, he's also one of the top students of Sam Owens in India. I'm so grateful to have Bhuvanesh here. Welcome, Bhuvanesh, from my bottom of my heart to the Real Knowledge Club TV.
Very great to be here, man. Actually, we connect after 1 year, and very nice to be here. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you so much. Yeah, Bhuvanesh, we are so curious to know about your story. Can you tell us about your backstory, how you got started, and where you are today right now? It's been an incredible roller coaster journey. We just want to know about that.
yeah, truly. Thing is, I started my career in marketing around some 8 years back, and as most entrepreneurs call them like accidental entrepreneurs, right? And myself, I would be calling myself like an accidental marketer because I never perceived myself as a marketer or I tried that way. But at one point of time in life, I was having my work in a MNC called as Verizon, and I was into the role like a network admin, and life was so happy there, not much pressure, and life was going in that way, not having any career perspective at that time. But suddenly I was in a position like I would need to come to my hometown for my family, and when I come to hometown, definitely I need a job. But at that time, I went and pitched to these technology companies, and for these technology jobs it was not really working for me. I was getting rejected all the time. But when I switched to marketing, because it was reflecting my personality, I mean, like, I can talk to the people, I can convince them, and I really love talking to the people. I can talk for endless hours. So when I went to the first interview for marketing, it just clicked. And whatever interview I went for, marketing or sales job, it was clicking that time very easily. Then I thought like, okay, this is a job I can easily get in my hometown. Then I think like, okay, this is my career probably. Then I start my career. I think I would say like I revamped my career. Till the age of 31, I was working for a technology company, well paid, on a company like Verizon. And after the age of 31, I completely, dropped everything in my resume, and it was not benefiting me. And from there, I started a career from the scratch. And at the position right now, which I'm right now, I'm really happy the step I've taken, even though it was very late. And it's saying like it's never too late for anything, right? But at that time, I made the decision, and I would say that decision really, really, enhanced my life in by all means.
Absolutely,
And
that
currently,
was.
and currently, first 3 years I worked for some three companies as a digital marketer. Then after that, some 4 years, I went to the consulting mode and worked for multiple clients from US and UK. And then after that, the COVID situation came. Then I thought like the revenues was not coming in the way which I wanted, and then I switched to a full-time job again, because I learned a lot of stuff through the consulting, especially from the market research, the website strategy, to advertising. Okay, so I knew all these levels. So I wanted to apply to one single company at that point of time. Then I joined a company called as ideate last year, and working as a VP of marketing, and things are going really good.
That's incredible. And when did you identify this calling and your why? Like you being a freelancer, like you being an entrepreneur, then today, like you being one of the biggest companies in Kerala as a vice president in marketing, right? How did you find out that calling, and how did you know this is the best thing which I have to do right now?
I would say like that was just a situation there at that time. I will not say that as a calling, because see, in life it's all about events, right? Because all decisions that you make at any point of time is based on the a past event, right? Because when I came to Trivandrum, I needed a job. It was like not a marketing job, or say I needed a job. So from there, then again I worked for 3 years. Then I understood like, okay, I have got this much of knowledge. Then why can't I apply to some US company? I thought in that way, why can't I have my own multiple clients? And from there, it evolved to a level like, I am in a leadership role right now for one of the companies, which is fastly growing and more than some 200 employees. And I'm managing a team more than some close to some 30 members. So I never visualized this kind of stuff before some 8 years. I never came to Trivandrum saying like I want to be the marketer or probably a VP of marketing or probably the leadership role and managing this much team or probably making this much salary. It was not a calling. It is something like I would say triggered events. I mean, like one after other.
Absolutely. And for all the people who are watching this, like for the first time, some are like beginners, some are like even advanced people. What is basically a VP? Like, what is their role and what do they do in our day-to-day activities? Can you tell us about that?
Honestly, it is something like you have to take the most strategic decisions for the company. For example, if you're making a decision right now, uh, it is going to affect in the coming years the year revenues for the company. I mean, so everything is attached to revenues, everything attached to the cash flow for the company. So whatever decision that you're going to make, for example, revamping a website or probably revamping a social media or probably whether you need advertising at this point or not, this is like a strategic decision and how your website should be, what kind of pages you should have. I mean, if you're going for advertising at this moment, will that be the right decision? So is I would say like is mostly like taking decisions and executing that with the team. So in leadership, I would say like the most important thing which I've learned for the past 1 year, the most important thing which is needed for a leader, I would say is like bravery and courage, because there are some decisions. I mean, like because you learned a lot from the industry and a lot from the experience that you gained for the past 8 years, and you will feel like this is what correct for the company at this point of time. But when you're going to implement it, there are a lot of other people going to oppose it. It is not like there's nothing bad on that part. It's something like they believe that is correct. But I know from my experience this is what correct for the company because of my domain expertise. And so that takes a lot of courage and determination and persistence to execute that decisions. So you have to convince them, right? You have to sell to them. So you have to sell to your internal employees and the internal leaders first before even implementing that. But after that, they're getting convinced, and once things are getting executed, they are really happy. So because once you say something against them, I mean something which they truly believes in, right, then it can even affect your job. It can even affect, I mean, whether I will stay in the company or not. So it takes a lot of courage. You should not care. I mean, like if you truly believe in that, you go and talk, this is what needed for the company, and do it. And most importantly, rather than talking about ideas all the time, I would say is about execution. I mean, incremental stuff. What you can do right now. It is not about a total revamp website. Think about at least one section which you can revamp. See, for example, if you have a website, probably some 25 pages or 30 pages, you should not think about, I mean, like, probably 100 pages at that time. What do you think is take one section, how we can increment that, how it can affect the revenues. You should think in that way. That is more important.
Absolutely. Got it. Like one step at a time. Like we have to take like bold decisions, bold steps, and also the responsibility, right?
True. True.
The bigger the role, the bigger the problem, the bigger the responsibility, the more income, everything, right?
But I love it, man. I mean, like, most important thing which I currently like in my job is, I mean, like, what do you call that? I mean, like, in a position to change everything, that's the one thing. And one more thing is convincing people. I mean, like, you truly believe in something, right? And able to convince them this is not the right thing for you, and making them transition to another level, which is right for them in the long term, right? So I think that is the thing which I'm really enjoying right now. And I love execution, man. Rather than telling the ideas, I just love execution. If things are happening on a daily basis, I'll be happy. I'll come to my home and I can sleep peacefully and do something which I love again, probably playing some games or watching TV. Otherwise, things, the mind will be like, I will not say it's like a pressure. What I say is something like you will feel like you're not executed. See, you talked about something, you strategized it, you plan the strategies, you talk to the team, but even not able to execute that, whatever you did that till that time. I mean, like you're talking, your idea stuff, the planning stuff, everything is a waste, right? Why you're doing all
Right.
that if you're not able to execute that?
Absolutely. Execution, only when the execution happens, like the results come, right? With
True, true,
consistency, action.
true.
Absolutely. And when it comes down to like building like great technology companies or like as a coach, consultant, whatever we do, like getting 100% clarity on product is like one of the most important things. Now, for all the listeners who are watching this Real Knowledge Club TV, what will be your advice, like if you have a framework or a strategy, like building great products and how to get that 100% clarity? Because the time when we have full clarity, we can go much faster. If we don't have clarity, we just fizzle around, go here and there, and like we waste so much of our time.
True. See, in business and marketing, I would say, like from my experience and from whatever I have learned, it is not about the confidence. It's all about the clarity that you have. For example, if you're entering the market, take an example of my market. I am into this app development market, okay, and this is like $1 billion industry. I mean, like there are n
Right.
number of companies out there, and there are companies making some, probably some 500 crores in Indian rupees. I'm talking about in India, and there are companies making less than 1 crores. Okay, I'm talking Indian rupees right now. So,
Yes.
so once you enter the market, once you're making some $0 at this moment, okay, so you should be having a real clarity, like, okay, this is what the competitive landscape is, this is what the industry is, this is what the whole market size is, and this is what I mean. Like, see, in business, it's about two things, majorly two things. One is who is your ideal client and who is your ideal competitor, whom you're targeting and whom you're competing with. This is very, very essential stuff for any market. So if in my market I'm targeting entrepreneurs who need to have, developing their own apps, their own digital products. So that is my target market. So I know my market very, that can be any industry. Okay, so it could be an entrepreneur having an idea, and they want to solve some problem in some specific market, and they want to develop a digital product and solve it for their customers. So that is my ideal clients. And now, whom is my ideal competitor? Someone already in the market, probably who is having a, if the market cap is probably some probably some how much, probably $100 billion, someone making close to a very good of money in that. For example, right now there are companies making close to 500 crores or 1000 crores right now. So that could be our ideal competitor right now. But we
Right.
cannot achieve that on a single day, right? We have to first, for example, if you want to strike the number of $100 million, at least first you have to strike the number of 100K, right? Then you have
Right.
to scale to $1 million. Then you have to scale to $10 million, and then only you can think about scaling to $100 million. So the minimum clarity that you should have is whom you're targeting, whom you're competing, and take it like step by step. I mean, like, for example, initially your ideal competitor will not be someone like making $100 million. Your ideal
Hmm.
competitor would be someone probably making at least some $10 million, and beat that. And that is the first level of the game. Then jump to the next level. So clarity is something like, I would say, we cannot attain that on a single day. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of research. I mean, like, you have to go through all these websites where they're standing. You have to go through all the social media, what kind of strategies they are doing. So clarity, there's nothing called as 100% clarity, because the market is evolving, the industry is evolving. So your clarity should also evolve.
Right, absolutely. And as an entrepreneur, like how do we, as a founder or like someone, how do we stay focused on like one product, one offer, one service? Because as we are evolving, so much of distractions comes in a day-to-day basis, right? So many things, like we'll see like NFTs, like Web 3.0, this one, that one. Everything looks like fancy and shiny. We feel like if we keep the leg there, no, it's the next internet, next boom, right? How do we control ourselves and focus on like building better products and giving better services to our clients?
This one I learned from a guru, I would say Sam Owens, something called a shiny object syndrome, which plagues almost a lot of entrepreneurs. Because when entrepreneurs stepping into some industry or some specific market, okay, they knew the market size, they knew the potential of that, and they have not even attacked the whole market, right? And suddenly some other new industry comes in and they want to invest on that. So my question to them is, okay, just just rewind to that date when you started this company and when you started to attack that industry which you're currently on. Okay, and now after some 3 4 years, when you're making some steady revenues and you think like you have to go to some other industry. So you see, in life is something like you have got only two things: one is time and energy. So if you
Right,
can invest the time and energy in one specific stuff, you'll be an expert on that part. So that's what I have seen in a lot of, for example, in my industry, app development companies. Okay, I am seeing a lot of companies which have been very consistent for the past 10 years, and they are not switched to any other industry, not making some multiple products. Okay, they have switched on to that specific domain, and now they are making like 100 crores or probably 200 crores. And I have seen that some companies, they are making probably some 1 crore or 5 crore at that time. I mean, when this competitor was doing 5 crores, and now they are still at 10 crores or 15 crores, because
Hmm.
their time and energy went to some probably multiple products, and in terms we call as shiny objects for the entrepreneurs, right? So it
Right.
doesn't really work, because you know the market when you started, you know the market size. So my question is, did you really attack the whole market? Did you become a
Hmm.
truly a competitor, truly a player, truly
Market
the top
leader.
player on the
Hmm.
market? You didn't become that. So what about your vision? Did you have the right
Hmm.
vision? That is my question. So it's up to each of the people. If but the thing is, for me, focusing on one thing will be much easier than focusing on multiple things, because if multiple products, then is multiple social media pages, multiple websites, multiple teams, is it's like a chaos, right? Why you should spend your time and energy to multiple stuff which will not even work? It is something like experiment, like you put the basket here. I don't think so, man.
Absolutely. Like we have to have like that clear vision and mission for ourselves and our team members. That's when we grow. And that's 100% I agree with that. And my next question is like when it comes down to marketing, right? How to get 100% clarity about what we do, how we acquire the customer, the CAC, cost per acquisition of customers. Now every year on year, like the Google ads, like YouTube ads, Facebook ads, it's going to the roof, right? And it has become a big challenge because more and more players are coming in the game. Now, how to market a product like effectively, organically, and even through paid ads, and what are the most important fundamentals in marketing?
See, for this question, I would say in marketing, sometimes you have to be like a scientist and sometimes you have to be like a mathematician. That is very important. So when I'm saying scientist, I mean like you have to, you have to find the real truth. Okay, why it is not
Hmm.
working. For example, you are driving some 10,000 visitors to your website and you are not converting, you're not making that much revenues, and other website bringing 10,000 visitors to their website and is not, it is converting and they are making a lot of revenue. So what could be the reason? So just go and check the website. I mean, how the website is structured, how their copywriting is, how the design element is, how their case studies are, how the testimonials are, how their call to action. And from the journey from the top section to the bottom section, or probably the entire journey, or probably the blogs to the landing pages, how the website is structured. So then you will get an idea where you're standing. So in that way, you have to be like a scientist. You have to seek the truth, you have to find the
Right.
truth, and you have to apply it on your market, your website, all this stuff. And second, regarding max, as I said, like mathematician, right? In Google ads or probably Facebook ads is all about numbers. I mean, like there is a cost per click associated with any market or industry. For example, in my sector, it's something like close to probably $10, even to $20. But when you take the whole size, the lifetime value of the customer is very, very huge. Some lifetime value of the customer could be even like more than $1 million. So it is highly worth investing, probably some $2,000 or $3,000, even $10,000 as a cost per acquisition. It justifies, because one customer comes into you and they might stay with you probably some 2 years or 3 years of developing their app. It could be like $1 million project, right? So
Right.
in that case, you should be having the real numbers on your head. So you have to be a scientist. So when I'm scientist, you have to make that things perfect according to the competitor. That's the first thing. And second thing, you have to come like a mathematician. You have to be very clear on the numbers. For example, this is my cost per click, and 1,000 clicks I'm going to drive to the website or landing page. That going to cost me probably, if it's a 10 cost per click, is going to cost me like $10,000. Okay, so if it is like $10,000, can I convert at least some 100 leads out of that? Is my website capable of doing that? Then after that, can I talk to these 100 people and can I convert at least 20 people out of that? And if one lifetime value of one customer, if it is at least some 100K, just imagine the numbers. It is crossing some
Yeah.
$20 million. So investing this much money, but you will not take the money immediately, man. If you're investing 100K today, definitely you're not going to take the 100K next month. 100K will convert to like $1 million over a period of time. It could be like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, right? Or probably even $10 million. So as I said earlier, as a marketer, definitely you have to be like a scientist and you have to be like a mathematician and you have to be bloody, behind the execution. That's the most important thing. I don't believe in talking. It is not. I don't believe in the presentations. I don't believe in the bloody Excel sheets. I don't believe in the monthly meetings. What I truly believe is what you achieve month after month, and what is really stopping you to doing that. Whether it's a team, whether it's you, whatever the hell it is. So that is what you have to find it. And you have always, whenever the problem comes, like when you execute, the problems always comes when you execute the stuff, right? So at that time, don't be inside the problem. Just get out of the problem and watch like a third party person, as an outside person. And then you have to justify it. Okay, this is what the problem is. Probably in the in the whole website revamp process. Okay, when you're going to execute that stuff, probably it could be a design issue, it could be a developer issue, or probably it could be a copyright issue. So what is that? Why it is not happening? So once you take an outside view, it will be very clear for you, and then you can replace a team. Then you can probably think about outsourcing whatever it is. So it's all about understand the problem and be passionate about executing it. That's the only thing that you need to be successful, and that itself will increase your clarity over a period of time.
Absolutely, it was phenomenal. My next question is like, what are the most important factors while creating a product we must not avoid, and how to get the first 10 or like 20 customers? Because even in the Y Combinator, like recently I met like Aditya, who was from Y Combinator back, like Zepto co-founder. He bootstrapped his company from zero to $900 million by 19 years, right? And he was also telling the most important thing is product market fit and getting the right customers. What do you want to tell to all the people? Like, what are the common mistakes what people do when it comes down to building the product and marketing?
See, the thing is, most of the time, as I said earlier, in order to be successful in business, you should know whom you're competing with and whom you're targeting. And whom you're targeting is very, very important than whom you're competing with. Okay, because probably you might be defining your own space in the industry, probably a new industry. But if it doesn't know whom you're targeting, then you cannot create a right product, because the products are always created for the customers, right? It is there to solve some specific problem point for the customer, right? So in my
Right.
market, what is that? In my market, there's an entrepreneur and he doesn't know technology. He doesn't know how to code. He doesn't know how to market. That's why he come to us, right? So we clearly know the problem point. So that's why we are giving a service to them. And same thing with other product, any products in the market. So the product winning in the market is something like which effectively solves the problem point. So you have to really understand what exactly the pain points of the customer, and then only you can devise a product. So it is not about copying some other product is successful in the, yeah, definitely you need to look at other product as well. Nothing wrong in that. But if you really don't know, like if your ideal clients, what exactly the problem points are, I don't think you cannot make a successful product. So if you really know, okay, this is what the problem point, this is what the pain point, this is what it is solving for the customer, and this is what even it is solving for a huge competitor in the market, then I think that is the thing where for that, you need to talk to the customers, probably picking some 10, 20 people in the market and whom you are going to develop the product, talking to them, asking like, this is how you solve the problem and what is your problems. And there, from there only, you can define the features, you can define the functionalities. It is not about copying the competitor product.
Absolutely. It's all about like we defining our like ideal customer avatar and then identifying who are the people, like modeling, like Russell Brunson also tells like funnel hacking,
Yeah.
identifying who are already there and modeling what's working, right? Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And my next question, the most important question which I have is like when it comes down to learning, right? You have learned from some of the best mentors, and that's how I was able to find you, like Sam Owens, right? What are the top 10? Because, like, I believe, like, Sam Owens is one of the few consultants in the world, like, words per metric value in 1 minute or like 2 minutes, if we consider it's like highest in the world, right? What are the 10 most important fundamental pillars or like golden nuggets you have learned which you want to share with all the audience today?
I'm not able to recollect the 10, but the first thing which comes to my mind is mindset. See, before some 10 years, I was thinking about life, like why it is not happening to me, why it is not happening to me. But now it is very clear at the age of, this time, it is very clear to me why things are not happening to me, because it's all about the decision that you made. It's all about the events that happened to you and how you reacted to the event and how you took the decision. So I would say the most important thing I learned from Sam Owens is mindset. Because if you have the right mindset to address a problem, then I think you have got a very good solution for that. If the mindset is not very correct, I think you cannot address the problem and you cannot find a solution to the problem. And other things which I learned from Sam Owens is something like how you should be focused on the customer rather than your service or product. So if you really focus on the customer, you really know like their problems, what is their point A and what is their point B, what is the current situation and what is the desired situation. Because this is helping me a lot on my sales calls and all this stuff, because you are able to address to the customers like a doctor and diagnosing it. Okay, this is what your current problem is, man, and this is what you need to go, and this is what the medicine that you're going to take, and the medicine going to cost this much money. Like that, we talk to the customer. Okay, this is what the revenues that you're making right now, and your website is like this, and this is what the revenues that you need to go, right? So it is not a sales pitch I'm saying. It is something like truly comes from your heart, because that is something good for the customer. So that is one thing. Other thing I learned from Sam. And the most important thing I learned from him is something like, you have to sell something direct to your face, right? I mean, like, things are not working, and how you can make it work. There is no excuse there, right? So a lot of things were direct to the face on that course. And um, and what is it? I think, and also I learned Facebook ads. Yeah, I've taken other courses from Facebook ads, but the Facebook ads course from Sam Owens was something like brilliant. I mean, like, how to have the long copy, how to have the multiple ad variations, and how to select the successful ad. And I really applied to some of my clients. It was really successful. It was nothing was like a failure. So whenever I was in freelancing, when I did that stuff on the Facebook ad, the multiple ad variations and multiple images, everything, it worked really well.
Absolutely. And it's like laser focus,
True, man.
right?
True. Absolutely true.
We
And
have
yeah,
to.
one more thing was, if you really want to focus, the opposite of focus is what? Avoiding distraction. So what you can eliminate in your life that, really enhances your focus. So that is the most important thing I've learned. I mean, like, how to eliminate distraction. But still I'm learning, man. I would say, I will not say I'm a perfectionist. If I was a perfectionist, I would like Sam Owens making that much of money, but I'm not. So I have to accept that reality as well. But from this point, I have learned a lot. I mean, like, why I'm here right now. Before 10 years, I was thinking a way, I was playing a victim role. Okay, why things are happening to me in such a way? Why things are not happening to me like that? So, the here at this time, I clearly know, like, okay, if I am like on this position right now, whether it's positive or negative, I know that, okay, this is based on the decisions and how we are reacted to that events. Probably I feel like sometimes I could have betterly reacted to that events. Probably that would have enhanced my career trajectory. I don't know. So that is the most important stuff. I mean, like, there are a lot of others, but these are the things which comes to my mind. I mean, like, the mindset, eliminating distractions, advertising stuff, customer centric approach.
Absolutely. And it's all about like giving what our customer wants and like solving the problem better than anybody else and
True, true.
doing with ethics and honesty. That's the most important thing in any business, right? And my next question is like you must have seen so many people who buy courses, programs, everything, right? And why do you think like only like 1% or like only 2% or like 3% in any given market? It's not just I'm talking about online courses, programs, even in like wherever we go. Only a short percentage of people are able to get the best results.
Uh, the answer lies in your question itself. You said like 1%, because that applies in society itself, right? Because everybody cannot be successful, right? Everybody is starting a business, everybody is starting a career will not be successful on that specific part, right? So it is a general rule, like only some 1 to 5% or 1 to 3% become very successful than any others. That the 80-20 rule that we have learned, right? So everybody cannot have everything. So the reason is the that 97% or 95% people don't apply it, and don't eliminate distraction, probably don't apply the right mindset. So that is the thing. But people like Sam Owens or the big entrepreneurs in the world or big billionaires in the world, They are able to cut all the distractions, and they're able to focus on the single thing rather than all these shiny objects. So I think like that is the main reason. I think they were able to apply it. They were focusing on that very clearly, and till that is achieved, they will not give a preference to any other job which is not contributing to that goal. So I think that is something like it will happen all the time, man. It won't be like 5%, 10%. It will be always like 1% win it. It will be always like that.
Absolutely. See, the most important thing in one thing what I have seen in marketing is every time I buy a course, whether it's Tyler Perks, Russell Brunson, Sam Owens, the marketing statement is going to be become part of it. Like you make like $10,000 per month, $30,000 a month, $100,000 a month, or $1 million a year, or like 3 years, 5 years. We all actually become part of that programs through emotions, right? It's not like see all the books you can see behind. We can in fact get all the books for $10, $15, like
Yeah,
Ray
man.
Dalio's principles, or like Napoleon Hill rule of success. It has all the answers from the history itself, but we don't take action, and like we don't read the entire book and implement. And we actually buy like courses which is 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, $10,000. And it's like uh, even after buying the courses, right, even though everything has been there, but still somewhere, even like example now in Sam Owens community also, they have given almost everything what is needed. Only thing is like the execution, right? But still not everybody is able to win.
True, because as you said right now, you said like you have pointed to that books in the behind, right? So it's something. Everything is free, man. Everything is available on the internet. Okay, so if you really want to be successful, okay, want to learn how to run the Facebook ads, or probably how to run a Google ad campaign. Everything's almost free in the internet. But the thing is, going through that one by one, understanding it and applying it, and the iterations will come, the changes will come, and reapplying it again. That takes time. So everybody don't have the patience to do that. So that's why, as you said right now, you people go behind the emotion, because Sam Owens, or probably people like this, when they come on internet, what they does, they said like, this is what your point A, you're not making anything. So they are triggering something like an emotion. Okay, you are not worth. And now they show something like, okay, the ceiling. This is what you have to make. This is what some $1 million. How your life will be when you make that $1 million. So it is all about. See, it's all about it's not about the need, man. It's all about the emotion. Probably I can live with the current salary for the next 10 years which I'm making right now, and I'll be happy. But when you see this kind of advertising, when you see this kind of, it always triggers an emotion, because everybody wants more. Everybody, whether they're ready to
Wants a
work for
better
it,
life.
yeah,
Mhm.
everybody, whether they want to work for it or not, but everybody wants more. So when someone comes in front of you saying like, okay, this is something more for you, this is something more for you, and this is how it is, and if they genuinely present in the right way, definitely people will get convinced. Because it was not like, some probably it's a 1 2 minute statement, right? So he came to us with a webinar, like a 1 hour webinar, or probably some multiple YouTube videos. So it was something, a lot of remarketing was happening all the time. Because when we went to the website, then after that we got convinced, okay, something is there. But we will not buy immediately, because we have got the doubt element in our mind whether this is like a scam. Then you leave it for some days. Then after that, some pop-up comes, some Facebook ad just comes in front of you, or probably a YouTube ad comes in front of you, and then this guy again reminds you, right? And then we take his content again, 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 and then in probably in our life this becomes a part. I mean, watching his videos daily, at one point you become the customer. So as you know, Gary Vee said in one of the interviews, right? I mean, one of the book, Jab Jab Right Hook. So
Yeah.
they throw that. I mean, like all this kind of free content, free content, free content. And I would say like the free content itself is enough for us to be successful. The whatever free content which is available on especially if you're taking Salmon's course, the free content that he has given on YouTube, I think it is more than enough to be successful, rather than going through the course. Because he has talked to the mindset, he talked about the client attraction, he talked about the customer centric approach, and the Facebook ads is available on the internet free. Almost a lot of YouTube channels they're mentioning that. And probably you can take a Udemy course for 1,000 rupees, you can buy it. But the thing is, why you are paying on lakh rupees? Because it is
Accountability,
it is,
execution, right? Yeah.
yeah, it is triggering emotion, man. Because people, why you are paying money much more for some
When
product,
we pay more,
when
we pay more attention.
Yeah, so it is something like emotion. They are very brilliant in triggering your emotions. So that's why say whether they speak one sentence, whether they talk for 1 hour, it is something like everything goes to your mind. So that is something like they cultivated it like over a period of time. They did that over a period of time. So it is naturally comes to them. So convincing people or talking to the people and understanding the psychology of the people.
Absolutely. And that's what even my mentor Naveen Jain also was telling. Like the
Oh
most important thing,
man,
uh, he was telling
amazing
about
billionaire.
yeah, he was also telling like you have to talk about what the world can be, right? Don't just talk about what the world is right now. Just talk like 5 years, 10 years in advance, like how the world can be if you are able to build this product, if you are able to do something. You always have to be like future centric, right? And the most important thing is now out of all these things like authenticity, knowledge, energy, and the way how they speak, the approach, like the sales, what is the most important thing, right? Is it the energy, is it the authenticity, is it like how the way you dress up, or like what is the most important thing? If we have to build that trust, right, with the people who are watching us, what is the most important thing in terms of marketing?
See, initially when I was starting my marketing career, okay, I used to dress up well. Okay, I used to dress up well with a tie and everything when I go to the clients. But after some time, I knew that that really sucks because I would say like lot things comes to energy, I would say, because energy plays a key role when you talk to someone, and whether you dressed up very good or not, but if you talk in a real sense, when the customer can connect it, then you have a connection there. But if you go to them, neatly dressed or probably having a nice coat and everything, but if you're not able to communicate, if you're not able to express the energy, if you're not able to connect the customer, will that work? I don't think so. But I would say like it's mostly connected to energy and authenticity, the way you talk, that is more important, because the energy comes automatically once you have the clear knowledge on what you're talking. If you don't have a clear knowledge, then it doesn't come easily, right? And authenticity is something like if you know very clearly about the specific industry, that also automatically comes in. But the dressing part, I think it adds value. Definitely, you cannot go with a crap dress on office, right? Definitely, some decency is always needed. So that is fine. But I think the most important part is energy, authenticity, the knowledge of the market, understanding the customer's shoes. And if you go to one customer, if they doesn't have a need, if you really understand the problem point of the customer, whether you wear coat or whatever shit it is, people don't care. Because I still remember the scene from the movie Pursuit of Happiness, in the climax scene. Will Smith. I don't think the climax scene. I think he goes for the interview and he gets selected. And at that time, he used to paint his house, and cops will caught him, and then he'll be in jail. And from the jail, he understand that it's time for the interview, and from there he'll run with a bad shirt and bad pants, whatever it is, and with a lot of paint on his the cloth. And when he went to the interview, they ask questions and he answers that. Then after the end of the interview asked him, I mean, like, what I should think if someone comes to my interview cabin, they had a very bad shirt, something like that, and I hired him, and he still say like probably he had got a nice pants. So
Hmm.
that is the thing, man. I think it is all about connecting. It's not the dress, because in that scene, Will Smith and the character, he was able to connect to that interviewer. I mean, like, that's the most important thing rather than the dress.
Absolutely. We have to identify the energy frequency where they are right now, and we have to fit into that
True,
frequency what
true,
they're
true,
speaking.
true, true. And also, you have to
Um,
understand the pain points as well. Without knowing what exactly the customer needs, I think you will not be as successful on that part. So you have to really understand what exactly the other person needs, what exactly the question is, and how we can solve it. And if you can talk in that way, it's like a deal closed, man, all the time.
Absolutely. And when it comes down to competition, right? Like some people, like recently when I had a call with someone, they were like so afraid, are you a competitor of me? Right? And what it takes Now, so many people think it's just easy, like just by 30 minutes call or like 20 minutes by seeing the website, they think they can compete. But even Sam Owens tells in his one of the videos, even if you use all his codes, people do it, try to replicate it, teach it, see the landing page, see the copy, see the webinar VSL, copy the email. Still, nobody is able to reach to the level of success and the revenue he's able to generate, right? Maybe here or there, maybe in the town or village, they can become the Sam Owens of India or like Sam Owens of their state or like Sam Owens of the country. But still, not anybody is able to reach to that level because he said like it's all about like targeting. I know exactly who my target and what are the most important things when it comes down to competing and how much time it takes if somebody has to become best at their industries.
For the first question, I would say like the duplicates are always duplicates. It cannot compete with the originals for sure, because
Yeah,
if you see some nice product in the market, definitely you probably can duplicate it and you can sell it for some time, but the original always wins. This whatever the industry it is, we have seen that people trying to replicate other product or service, they'll sustain for some period of time, and after some time, definitely they are going to on the verge of failure for sure.
mm,
But in order to understand that, I mean, if you want to build a sustainable business, as I said earlier, it takes time. There is no specific time like, okay, we will achieve that on this specific month or second year, third year. But when you enter the market, when you see the market size, and when you see the ideal competitor who's making this much of revenues, then you will get a clear idea. Okay, this is what the money I have to invest on the first year, and probably this is what the time is going to take. For example, if you go into the market, probably some 100 crores in market size, and there's a market leader making some 10 crores. Okay, you are on zero part. Okay, now you know like you have to invest at least 1 crore today, so that you will make some 10 crores on next third year or fourth year. Okay,
right.
so that much clarity you should have. So for any industry, it is very clear. It is not like endless number of days after that you see the figure. There's a clear timeline for everything. But the thing is, yeah, can you really find that timeline by seeing the industry, by seeing the competitors landscape, by seeing where you stand? If you get an idea, okay, this is the time is going to reach there, then you are going to invest systematically year after year.
Absolutely. It's like we must have that like long-term thinking, long-term mindset, and we have to know at every stage, like, okay, here we are right now, and here we are there, and that's how we go about. That's
True, man. Absolutely. It's always long term. I mean, like, we cannot achieve anything in short term. The only thing we can achieve in short term is acquiring knowledge, which really fuels to your long term growth. So, I think people should compromise a lot on short term, which I never did in my career in the beginnings. But now I'm doing that because I know that, okay, if I'm going to sustain this market for the next 10, 20 years, definitely it'll be something big for me, at least big for me. I not say compete in the market or whatever it is, but it is big for me, big for my life, my personal life, my career and everything. So what all you have learned, I mean, like the growth is something like this. Okay, in the beginning it is something like a very small stuff, but you see that, okay, it grows, the trajectory is so big, right? So it applies to any career. It starts in a small dot, and from there it grows like this, big. But initially, you will not see the curve. I mean, like you
absolutely.
see whatever you do that today. I mean, like right now you are doing this podcast probably weekly, monthly, I don't know. But the results you will not see immediately, man. After some 10 years, it will be something huge. Then at that time you'll be having the other challenges. Then you will not be have the time to analyze how you reach there. But if
Right.
you take some time to sit back and think how I reached here is all about the series of events, what all decisions
Mm.
that you have taken because of that events, right, that made you to reach here. So it's something like long term, definitely long term, because you cannot form a character for a kid within some 5 years or 10 years. It takes a long time to build the character. Till that time you have to nurture yourself as a parent, right? You have to talk to the kid, you are spending a lot of time to doing that. So nothing is
It's like
short
an
term. It's
evolution
everything
process.
long.
Like,
It's an evolutionary
yeah,
process. So you have to believe in that evolution, right? In the evolution, probably you might die, you might get replaced, but till the time you are alive, you are doing something great.
absolutely. It was incredible. And what will be your top three books, like your favorite books, which you want to recommend to all the audience, which you have read in terms of business and marketing?
The top book which I really like is Atomic Habits, and that's a book I've read from start to the end. I'm not a avid book reader, honestly. The thing is, I watch these YouTube
Okay.
channels of all these influencers, and like Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Sam Owens, and so yeah, I watch the YouTube channels and really love to hear them talking. I'm mostly like a listener rather than like a reader. But I have
Absolutely
read some books, but this book I have read from start to the end. Atomic Habits by James Clear is a
great.
wonderful book.
That was super awesome. And yeah, Bunesh, it was like super. I'm so pumped up like to get like so many pieces of advice. It was super awesome. And what will be the three piece of advice before we conclude? Like where you can share about like people if they want to become really successful in terms of marketing, building great products. What should they do? What actions you want to tell them? What action plan like you want to give it to them?
First thing is always think about long term. Okay, that's the first
Hmm.
thing you have to think. And then in short term, try to learn a lot of stuff in marketing. For example, if you're entering the career in digital marketing, okay, first thing is you try to learn a lot. I mean, like, don't try to focus on one single step. Try to learn Google Ads, try to learn Facebook Ads, try to learn social media, try to learn website strategy. Okay, and after some 1 or 2 years, things will evolve for your place. I mean, like, then you'll feel like, okay, you feel like an advertiser. You want to be a Google ad specialist, or probably you want to be a Facebook ad specialist, or probably you want to be email marketer. So in the initial days, you have to experiment as much as you can, make the mistakes as much as you can, and that will evolve slowly to one period of time. Then all this learning that you have learned, you know will be helpful for you. So initially, you have to learn a lot, so that, as I said earlier, in order to be successful in business, the most important thing is clarity. The clarity doesn't come easily. Clarity comes very it takes a long period of time. It takes a lot of learning, a lot of hard work, and a lot of research for that specific industry. And all about is and always about be customer oriented. I mean, like, as I said earlier, we always have a customer centric approach. I mean, like, whenever you do marketing, whenever you are going to create a Google ad campaign, or whenever you do the website strategy, think about the customer first. Okay, what they really want, and try to reflect the content on the website. If you are not writing the content, if you are leading the team, okay, motivate the copywriter or motivate the team to do that. So be customer centric, try to learn as much as possible, and I would things will evolve for you. And believe in evolution, man. That is a thing. Rather than you believe like, okay, you create everything, believe in evolution as well. Okay, you learn, you do, and that will evolve to something. Because right now the billionaires which is seen everywhere, whether Sam Owens or probably big billionaires like Tony Robbins, whoever it is, I mean, like, they never knew like, okay, they will be like this, and they'll be doing like this in 2022. They can't even visualize, because they at 1980s they were consistently doing day by day, and now it has evolved to such a level, because the industry has evolved, the market has evolved, the world has evolved, and now they are taking full advantage of that.
Absolutely. It's like consistency and like doing as if tomorrow is like today is the last day of our life and like working
Exactly.
upon like having that pain, no gain, right? And not procrastinating. Tomorrow I'll do, day after tomorrow I'll do, and like no shiny object syndrome, like jumping from one thing to another thing. Laser focusing on one thing, making the best, only then go to the next thing.
And one more
Absolutely.
thing is, for these freshers, they feel like, okay, this
Yeah.
is my destination. Probably, okay, I want to achieve this much of salary, and I want to have this. That is not a destination, because after that destination, what are you going to do? For example, if your destination is something like making probably 1 lakh per month, okay, and after that, what will be your next goal? So I would say the only one destination you have is death, right? That's the ultimate
Mhm.
destination for everyone. So before that is something like a journey, right? So till that journey, there'll be a lot of events, a lot of goals in between. So you have to believe in, and you have to understand from the events. You have to, change it, whatever is needed from your end, and apply it and go on. That's it. That's the only thing that you need.
Absolutely. And one more most important question, what I want to ask you is doing a job good or bad? Because many marketers or like people, entrepreneurs, they think they have to be the entrepreneur, they have to try to do everything. Now, as you are extremely good in marketing, you said like you're 10 times better than like your own company CEO, and you said him also, right? Now, the most important thing is some people have some kind of ego, right? Like they want to be the number one entrepreneur come marketer. What will be your advice to them?
Can you repeat the question for me again? What was
Yeah,
it?
my question is, some people as a marketer they want to be an entrepreneur. They don't like job. They tell like job is like just obey the
No,
boss.
yeah,
They
got it.
yeah,
As I said earlier, there is nothing called as right or wrong in the world. Okay, you are
yes,
right from your own perspective because you believe in something very strongly, and I am right from my perspective. So that is why there are a lot of fights in the world, right? Because we cannot say this is right, that is wrong. Because if
mm,
you think from their perspective, okay, for example, so probably someone started as an entrepreneur at the age of 16. Someone will tell, probably the parents will tell, okay, you don't know the world. Why you are starting like entrepreneur? Why you are doing that? Probably after 20 years, if that guy becomes a billionaire, everybody that will be behind it, the world will be behind him, right? So
right,
the parents are right because the parents know their world and they're comparing that experience and applying to that guy or that person, right? The kid. So there is nothing called as right or wrong. I mean, like everybody's right on their own perspective, and people are creating their own vision, their own reality.
absolutely. We just have to do whatever we feel it is the best for us. Right?
Yeah,
There is
whatever we
nothing
feel it
wrong.
is correct, nothing
Yeah,
wrong. Because if it is not going to affect someone, what is wrong in that? Because
absolutely.
you truly believe in entrepreneurship, you should go for that. Because I am like a marketing mindset rather than entrepreneur mindset. I am like a marketing mindset. Because if you are giving me something from point A to point B, I can clearly tell, okay, this is what time is going to take, this is what resources is going to take, and I can clear because that is because of marketing mindset. But entrepreneur mindset is something like something much bigger than that because he has to manage a lot. He has to see all those dangers coming against him. Again, the hiring part, I mean, lot of the operations part, right? So that's a different mindset. So how can I say and go to him saying like, "Hey, whatever you do is bullshit," and he cannot come to me saying like, "Hey, whatever you do is bullshit."
Right. It's like a permutation and combination. It should go hand in hand, like having the right marketing, having the right accounting, having the right HR. Like they have to manage all the responsibilities. Only if they're ready to go about doing all those things, that time
Yeah.
it's good to go about like that. Or else if you're good in one thing, better like to become a marketing, like digital marketer in a company and still work and still have a handsome salary. Absolutely. And Bhuvanesh, like for all the people who are watching the Real Knowledge Club TV, how can they follow you? If they have any questions, if they want any help from you, how can they reach out? What's your name on Facebook, Instagram? If you have your YouTube channel, also you can just tell us.
I'm not much active on Facebook and Instagram, but I have got my
Okay.
LinkedIn profile. You want me to share that on chat?
Yeah, you can just tell the name so that people are going to search that like your full
You
name.
can
You
you
can
can
just spell it.
search like Bhuvanesh, Kr Bhuvanesh, then give a space, then Kr. You'll get me on LinkedIn.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'm so grateful and thankful to have you, Bhuvanesh, for the last 15 minutes. It was like super awesome. And like, yeah, any last words before you conclude you want to tell to all the audience?
It was really wonderful, man. I would say like this is like my first, I think, live sessions of someone taking my interview. I think it's happening first time in my life. I never
Yeah,
thought like I will talk even this much for 50 minutes. And I would say it is something like really, really wonderful from my end and your end as well. Because because this is my first time and I never something I'm not a big person to give an interview, but someone calling interview and talking like this. And I really feel, I would say, really happy. And it was super wonderful, man, talking with you.
yeah. Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. Obviously, see, it's all about like getting started. It was like I'm so grateful to have you. It was super awesome. And for all the listeners who are watching this, do let us know what was your three biggest takeaways in the comments, and do subscribe and share with your friends. Let's make a world a better place together. Let's educate our country. Like let's make our country the best in the world. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye. See you.
Bye, Akshay. Thank you all. Bye.